All right, folks, listen up. Listen up. Tim Davis here. And for those who still staying out of this market because volatility or fear, I'm telling you, now is not the time because there's a lot of opportunities that are knocking at the door that can really explode your portfolio in ways that you cannot imagine. Um, in the midst of changes in our economy, um, rumors of wars and inflation. Um, think back to 2008, 2009, and even before that. I'm saying dot-com bubble. Um, when volatility really starts to pick up, and we start to see some extreme changes. Um, there's a lot of opportunity out there, and when you spot those sectors or those areas of opportunity, you take advantage of it. What I'm saying, when it's in that cycle, you can really make out in a big way. So with that said, I'm going to show you guys the opportunity that is been flashing in the commodities for a while, and it doesn't look like it's about to abate anytime soon. So I think we could be in the midst of a commodity super cycle, and I'm going to draw your attention to silver and copper, and crude oil, a little bit crude oil and gold as well. But I'm gonna start off with showing you guys the setup in crude oil. I'm sorry, and setup in silver, which is similar to the breakout opportunity that I saw brewing within the gold market. So start off by taking a look at the silver futures. Now, I don't trade futures, but I use futures in order to gauge what the markets are showing us. Now, and I'm going to go straight to a daily chart first. I'm sorry, a weekly chart first to show you guys the opportunity that is setting up. For those of you guys who don't understand charts, I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. Look at the direction where all the action is happening. So this is a candlestick chart showing price movement of the silver futures market. This is a weekly chart. This weekly chart dates, showing you guys on the screen, dating back to August of 2020. So to the left of my screen, we have a candlestick that shows almost like a ceiling. So I just highlighted that green candlestick where we almost hit where it was, you look at it as a ceiling for silver. So silver futures made it up to that mark, and looks like we started to come down and not really trade lower, but trade in a range. So we've been in this range, and I have this range highlighted or mapped out by the two white trend lines, and one white trend line on the top and one white trend line on the bottom. This has been a range that the market has been in, silver market has been in since around August of 2020. Now, when you spot these ranges, what we normally do in the world of trading, we try to look for potential breakout or breakdown, potential breakout, up and out, or even break down and um, break out and down. So I'm gonna highlight this entire area. So that's the range. We've been in this range since August of 2020. Now, I'm draw your attention to what's happening now. Now, you guys seeing what's happening with oil and a lot of other soft commodities too. Don't trade those, but the entire commodity cycle appears to be in this frame area, or in this time frame of a possible commodity super cycle. Now, for those who don't trade stocks, a lot of these green candles, you start to line them up in a row. That could be a positive sign. And what you look for possible levels of support or resistance, meaning a floor or ceiling. And you can find floors or ceilings within this range. I highlighted one ceiling within this range. So you see this trend line, this dashed trend line that I drew, showing that within this range, This is another ceiling within this range. So meaning the price actually made it up to this level and came back down, and then we are back up to this level again. There's other signs within my chart that's showing this ceiling is possibly about to be broken out to the upside. That is an opportunity is waiting. So it's opportunities knocking at the door or knocking at the ceiling, saying, okay, it's time to jump into this particular super cycle before I break through the ceiling. Because once we break through the ceiling, it could be off to the races as far as prices, and who knows where it could go. It could go a lot higher than where it is now. There's other signs that also gives us hope that this ceiling could be really about to be broken by looking at some other indicators down below this particular range. And down here, there are some lines that you probably don't understand, but these lines are all pointing upward. These trackers, if you want to call them, but my full stochastics got these oscillating lines that are all pointing up. Williams percentage got an oscillator that's pointing up. RSI oscillator at the bottom of my screen also pointing up. All positive signs that this commodity is heading higher. So if you was to find a silver stock, you know what I'm saying, that you can get into while this commodity is heading higher, you could probably hold that for a while until we start to really break out to the upside and possibly break some longer term trends now. So now looking at the ultimate target of this particular commodity will more than likely be this target that we've challenged already several times, which is around the $30 level. And I'm highlighting that area where we challenged that level multiple times over the past year and a half since that August 20 ceiling that we ran into around $30. Now, if this commodity cycle holds, there's a possible chance that this can do the same thing as oil. We could break out into a multi-year high, which is what I'm expecting to happen, because we're in a perfect storm for that to happen. So if that breaks out and you're already in, you could be part of the commodity cycle bunch that's making a lot of money off of these commodities as they break out. So what I'm expecting is to see a move up and out of that range that we've been in for a long time. If you can get in that move before the breakout happens, you can you stand a chance to make a substantial profit if you was to get into this range before the breakout. So that's silver. Now, there's also an opportunity floating around within copper. So copper also showing the same type of opportunity that's setting up. So here's a look at copper. And this type of pattern that it's in, some people call it a flag pattern or a triangle pattern. What happens is price action will travel in a very, very tight range for a very long time. So as you can see, copper made it up to this 488. That was back in May of 2021. And since then, it's traded in a very, very tight range, which means price came down, but it didn't really drop. It just came down halfway through, and not even halfway back down, but came down and started to travel right around this yellow line, which is called the 20-day moving average. And price action stayed at around this level for a very long time until now. So stayed around that range, and as you can see, it started to move into the apex of this corner of this triangle formation that I was able to spot. And look what's happening now. We're starting to break out of that range. See this huge green candle that's breaking above that trend line, which is a very positive sign for copper. And then again, you see the oscillators and my other indicators of full stochastics down here that is starting to rise, and you have the Williams percentage that's starting to break out, and you have the RSI that is starting to follow. So you got all these positive signs that's showing a possible breakout is brewing. So what happens if you decide to jump into a position, if you decide to buy stock in copper, if you decide to buy options in copper, sorry, what happens if you get in now? You can possibly be a part of this rally. I'm already in several copper stocks, I'm already in silver stocks, and I'm already in oil stocks. So I'm looking for a very, very great year within my trading portfolio because I got a little early. It is not too late to get into these rallies. I think these rallies are sustainable with everything that's going on within our economy and everything that's going on in the geopolitical unrest. I think these commodity moves are sustainable for quite some time. So it's not too late to get in. I think we're still in the beginning innings. We're still in the beginning innings, beginning stages, whatever you want to call it. And if you get in now, trust me, you will not be disappointed, and you'll be thanking me later. All right. So if you never paid attention to me now's the time. We are in a probably in a time an opportunity of a lifetime that's starting to set up within the commodity cycle and within the stock market in general. If you understand everything that's going on, there's a lot of opportunities that are right before us, which could really make your portfolio probably see its largest gains that you've probably ever seen in your lifetime if you pay attention down. So that is copper. And just to take a glance at gold, because I did mention gold before, but I showed some folks this breakout a little while ago, and some folks jumped on board for the ride. Some folks stayed on the sidelines and continued to watch as we broke out of this cycle. So I showed you guys the cycle before we broke out. So in other words, before any of this was here, same thing I showed folks about copper, that gold was in this triangle pattern and ready for a breakout. So I gave folks a forewarning when we was within the triangle. Now look what happened. We broke out of this range. If you got in when we were in this triangle, then you had an opportunity to get in early and be a part of this rally as gold broke out of that range. Now, this is not over. I think it's still just, we're in the beginning stages of this as well, but you had an opportunity to get in a lot earlier. So with that said, don't miss the opportunity to jump into in silver and copper while we're still waiting for the bigger breakout to come. Crude oil, same type scenario. This is WTI crude oil. And I also show the possible breakout area of this one. And it looks like we are starting to break out above the upper range that I highlighted a while ago. How much further this goes, I have no idea, but we are getting to some extreme levels on crude right now. And I'm gonna show you what I mean by extreme is that we're starting to break out of a level, multi-year level, a range that we have not, a level that we have not broken out of since back 2014. We've been hovering around that level. Now, I pointed this out last week that crude oil has hit this ceiling around this 110, 112 level multiple times from 2011 to 2014, was unable to break out, and looks like we're starting to break out of that range now. If for some reason crude oil continues to break out of this range, folks, what's in sight would be the all-time high, or the ultimate high, which was hit around 2008, where crude oil got to an extreme level, hit 147, and that's when the bottom fell out and we started to trend lower. I personally think that we could be heading to that level. And if we do hit that level, and I can almost guarantee you that we'll probably see a slide back down, sort of like we've seen back in 2008, 2009. So get on board while you can with some of these commodities and ride the wave until the ride is over. Now, back to silver and copper. I'm going to show you guys a couple different ways that I'm playing silver and copper, and I'm going to show you guys what the options market is showing us. And that's another confirmation that we're probably heading higher. If we look at the activity that is starting to pop up in the options market, and here is those who understand options, you can see where all the activity is happening within the options market, and could also confirm what you're seeing within the charts. Now, over the left side of my screen, you'll see where it says quantity. This is options time and sales, which means everything that you see that's in the blue, or the in the blue, is call options that are possibly being purchased to ride a particular stock or whatever you're watching to the upside. So in the blue, see, like there was a lot of call options that were being traded. And if you look at the quantity, these quantities are huge numbers, folks. These are big numbers. Look at that, 30,000 contracts traded for silver, for the silver position. Doesn't expire to July. And then if you look further down, there are many more big lots that were being traded that expired in July around that same level. And look what they're buying. They're going out and buying, possibly trading 38 strike contracts, 30 strike contracts, 28 strike contracts, meaning that they believe that this silver ETF will go a lot higher than where it is now. Right now, it's only at 23. If we get up to 38 and 40, get up to 38 and 28 or 30, that's a big move to the upside, which means that's a lot of money in your pocket. Now, if we go to July and take a look at it directly, you'll see these big moves. See all these contracts being purchased or being traded in big lots. So that's another sign that silver could definitely be on the way up even further than where it is now. Here's another silver stock. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at this chart first before we switch. So here is the silver ETF, and if we look at a weekly chart of this one, you'll see the bounce off of this support level. So the support level normally is a floor, and I've drawn a support level a while ago, and we are now bouncing off this floor. Oops. Bouncing from the floor, and price action seems to be going higher. So here's the floor that was put in, and it looks like we are starting to head higher off of that floor. So there's a lot more room to the upside for that particular ETF. Here's another silver stock that I've recently purchased, Pan American Silver. Also showing signs that it could be at the beginning stages of a move higher. It's a big, nice green candle. That's like we are just starting to make a move back up towards this $40 level that we have not seen since August of 2020. And if you look at the oscillators and our full stochastics and our wins percentage and our RSI down below, they're all pointing higher. All pointing higher. All pointing higher, which means we could be at the beginning of this particular run. One more silver stock that you can consider is AG, First Majestic Silver Corporation. This is a pretty inexpensive one. So for those who don't trade options, this one's trading for about 12 bucks right now. And this one got as high as 24 bucks back in February of 2021. Could we be heading back to that level? It is a strong possibility. So you can get into this position and possibly double your money over the next year or so if we make it back up to that $24 level. So that is a couple of different options for silver. Now, as far as copper, Freeport-McMoRan is a stock that tracks copper. This one I trade all the time when I see copper is starting to break out. And this one, same type of scenario that I showed you guys with copper. See the pattern, you see the breakout. Hovering just below $50 $50 an ounce now. So we traded up to 49.55, pulled back a little bit on this week, trading right now right around 48 bucks. So it's not too late to jump into this move as well. That's Freeport-McMoRan, FCX. Same type of scenario too. If we look at the options market, if it shows us, you can see a lot of activity that's happening within Freeport-McMoRan, just like we did within those silver stocks that I've shown. So there's some activity there. There's another one, SCCO, which is Southern Copper. This is another one that has recently shown some activity that's been brewing. And we're going to take a look at June contracts. Don't see the huge numbers, but still, there's a lot of activity trading for these June contracts around the 80 strike. And we see that the 80 strike contracts are showing 550 traded on Friday versus just 150 open interest. That's considered unusual option activity when you have the option volume much higher than open interest. So that is showing that there's another opportunity brewing within Southern Copper. So copper, folks, is another way to jump in and play this super commodity cycle to the upside. One more, let's see. So look at copper. Gave some copper ideas, gave some silver ideas. I'm gonna go back to silver real quick. And take a look at the options market for this one. This is AG First Majestic Silver. This one's showing a lot of opportunity, and they are going way out to January because they think this move could possibly be around for a while. So there's a lot of activity floating around the January 12 strike calls for AG. So there's a lot of action trading around there. Those contracts right now, as of Friday, we're going around for about $2.80. That's AG. And then for Pan American Silver, should see some activity there too as well. Here you go. A lot of activity around April and July expiration. So as you can see, the charts, the options market is lining up with what the charts are showing us, folks. So the opportunity is there, giving you guys a chance to join me in this run. It's been very, very well for me so far. And if you want to get in, it's not too late. I just gave you guys a fresh look at what's brewing, and hopefully you guys take advantage of what's happening within these commodities, folks. I can't stress it enough that this is opportunity of a lifetime. So if you snooze and sit back in the background and continue to watch, besides jumping in, don't come to me in a couple months or a year from now saying, I wish I would have got in then. And I'm just going to say I told you so. But seriously, folks, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. If I was you, you know what I'm saying, if you understand anything about, buying stock or trading or investing, find a way to take advantage of this opportunity in a lifetime, because trust me, at the rate things going now, you always want to find a way for alternative income. And right now, there's a perfect opportunity that's brewing within the stock market, especially within the commodity cycles. Here is USO, which is United States Oil Fund. A lot of activities been brewing in this one. March expirations, July expiration. They are still piling in here and taking advantage of some of these big moves that are happening within the oil market. So there's a lot of opportunity out there, folks. Don't let it slip and pass you by, because you'll be kicking yourself later when you had a chance to jump in and take advantage of this move. All right, hopefully, folks, this was something that was eye-opening and something that you can use. Again, there's a commodity cycle that's just heating up. Don't let it pass you by, because this will probably be a once in a lifetime thing. You might not see something like this in your lifetime again for a very long time. So now's your opportunity to jump on board. All right, until next video, Tim Davis here signing off, and I will catch you guys on the next video.